Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, and thank you all for joining. I am TAMIKA Franklin from Precision Franchise, and I assist you with owning your own business in the franchise industry. And I'm excited about tonight's webinar because we'll be tapping into mental health awareness, as May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So as you know, I do have an inventory of a lot of different businesses, proven business models, and a lot of times when people hear franchises, they think food. So I like to highlight the other brands because there's over 40 industries, there's thousands of businesses that you can own and be successful in. And not only that, but you may be passionate in this type of business as well. So I just took just a few of the brands that does tap into this mental health space, and I'm excited to get started. So tonight we have Dr. Cullen Hardy, and he's going to be representing Nora, and he'll be starting with us. Then followed by Paul Young with Oasis Senior Advisors, and Jaclyn Carillo with Pause.
Thanks for putting this together, TAMIKA, and certainly is a important topic these days, and being Mental Health Awareness Month, certainly on a lot of people's minds. So I'm going to be talking about my brand, Nora Mental Health, and kind of how we got started, what we offer, what assistance, makes us attractive to franchisees. I guess I can start with a little bit of background information. So after I finished graduate school, I started working in kind of larger community mental health organizations. Lots of kind of newly minted therapists will start off in these places because they're always hiring. But shortly after I started at a community mental health clinic, I noticed that the patient care and the staff care, really, those two, that it wasn't at the top of the list. In addition, the therapists who are working there, a lot of it is based around productivity numbers, and there's really not a lot of discussion on the work that we do with the patients, which is, why we're all there. So that was pretty discouraging, to say the least. And probably after about a year and a half, I decided that I could start a place where both the patients and the staff get treated well. And so I did, and we've spread throughout the state of Michigan, and then made the decision to go the franchise route towards the end of last year. And I guess pass it on to the next speaker. But yes, if there are questions that come up, or it is a franchise opportunity that you would like to explore, can certainly contact TAMIKA, and her contact information is right there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's times where, I'll just explain to the audience there where I would have emerging brands on. So you would be considered an emerging brands. So that was Nora Mental Health. And so now we're going to tap into with Paul at Oasis. So Paul, you can go ahead and take over.
So first off, my name is Paul Young. I'm with Oasis Senior Advisors. And before I kind of get into what we are, I wanted to just kind of start off with some senior mental health statistics. And so I want to kind of paint you a picture. I think that, we talk a lot about mental health, but I wanted to bring some real data. And I tried where appropriate to cite my sources. And I think that the other thing is people aren't aware about how common this mental health is impacting our geriatric community. Depression, anxiety, just the overall prevalence. One in five adults over 60 are going to experience a mental health concern. Pretty scary stuff. Suicide rates is higher than the national general population's average. Our seniors are experiencing substance use and abuse at rates of 5 to 10%. And similar to what Dr. Hardy was talking about is access to mental health services can be challenging for a lot of seniors for a variety of reasons and constraints. So who are we? So we're a free service. We're a senior placement service. Think of us as a real estate agent for seniors and their families. And the way that we're reimbursed, or our owners are reimbursed, is when they make that recommendation and the family places in a community, they're going to get that first month's room and care cost. On average, nationally, that's about $4,000 per placement. On average of our over 100 plus franchises, they're averaging about 4.6 per month. So you can quickly do the math there and kind of see what the numbers look like. We also require all of our owners to become certified senior advisors for a variety of reasons, but most importantly, it's going to help you level set on all things senior care in the geriatric space, law, ethics, and issues that are pervasive throughout the aging population. And then what we do is we come in and we say, okay, now that you understand the senior space, let's help you understand our business model and how you can do placement and be successful. So I think I got us out in enough time. I look forward to answering any questions, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much, Paul. So last but not least, let's hear from Jackie. Thank you so much.
So I'm excited to share more about the Pause franchise opportunity with you today. It's a little bit of a different take on mental health than what we heard from the other two speakers. And so what is Pause? I talked about the founders and where we are today with our growth, but Pause is really a recovery studio. We focus on holistic and modern solutions for recovery, not only physical recovery, but mental recovery. And in today's world, the way we live, life is so demanding. So we really have to take the time to rest, recover, and rejuvenate. We're always connected. And so Pause offers that. Life has no off button, but there is, however, Pause. And I would love to talk through the return side of the business. We have fantastic returns. So if it's something that people are interested in, I'd love to share more about what that looks like.
Again, if you guys could dive in a little bit on what your ideal candidate would be and the type of qualities that you feel they should possess. So, Doctor?
Certainly searching for people who have a passion for the mental health field. I mean, I think it's necessary if you do have your own Nora Mental Health clinic that you do truly want to make a difference and want to make an impact in those around you. It also helps, of course, to have the entrepreneurial spirit and at least have a little experience managing a team, maybe experience locally networking, because that can, of course, be fruitful when thinking about getting referrals locally. Our online marketing program is very honed, and that does bring in most of the referrals, and it will get the phones ringing. But of course, the local or organic flow is also important. So I would think those are a few things that we're really searching for as far as franchisees go.
Yeah, thank you. That's important. Having you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to want to be an entrepreneur. So thank you for that. And Paul.
Yeah, I think compassion and empathy are going to be first and foremost. I think that you're going to be doing a lot of counseling in this role with seniors and their families as they're going through a major life crisis and transition. So that has to be for strong and high emotional intelligence. When you're in your community, your patients are going to be anyone from any background, religion, race, ethnicity, etc. And so they need to be able to know that their clientele is going to be very diverse. The one thing they're going to have in common is their age. And then I think the other big thing is, I think that when we're going through the process and discovery process, we're also looking for people that see the value of having this as a passion project for them, that they want to be involved and make a difference in their community. And we know for the owners that that is a genuine part of their marketing strategy. They're the ones that are the most successful. And so I think someone wants to get really involved in their community. We really don't think.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, same thing for pause. I think that when you look at our services, the best franchisees are going to be the ones that are believers or users of our services. If you don't use or believe in these services, it's going to be hard to sell a business focused around them. So I think that would be a big thing. To date, we've awarded 33 studios across the US and have 12 different franchisees, and they all have that common thread. They really believe in the services. So I think that's really important. Business experience would be important as well. It can be a little bit complex in the sense of, you don't have a ton of employees, but it is a business that you're building from the ground up that is, the services are newer. So it's not like a gym, where people have been working out and they understand the services. You're educating the community. So I think that component is important as well.
As far as the licenses, is there any particular licenses that's needed for any of your businesses and or background, maybe requirement or ideal that they should have to come into this business?
Okay. No, it's not necessary to have a background or a history in the mental health field. As far as on staff therapists, there will need to be one fully licensed staff therapist. But that one therapist will be your acting lead therapist or clinical director, who can then sign off on the rest of the staff clinicians, because a lot of clinicians have what's called limited license. So for them to have their work signed off on and for insurance to reimburse, you just need that one clinical director. But that one clinical director can oversee, for 5 locations. So it's not like you need one for each location.
Okay, thank you. It's important to know, because the one thing I also learned in this business is having multiple units. That's when you start tapping into generational wealth, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good to know that you could utilize resources that way as well. Paul?
Yeah, so we have one requirement, and it doesn't require any pre-existing knowledge or educational background. It's the CSA, or Certified Senior Advisor. That's something you would do after you sign your contract before you come to your week-long training. It's approximately 50 to 60 hours online self-paced tutorial, and then you take an assessment. You're allowed to retake those assessments until you passed. And so it just depends at your own pace on what you want to go at. But once you have that, you also need to maintain it with certain ongoing continuing education, which we provide.
For pause, no specific, licensings or anything like that, except for if you are in a corporate practice of medicine state, you will need a medical director. And so, like I mentioned, pause has that set up. We have a medical director in place. He's licensed in all the states. So if you want, you can opt in to use him, and that would all be taken care of, or you could find your own medical director. And again, it does vary state by state. So we would get with you on the specific state regulations.
Okay, so guys, so just in closing, thank you again for participating in this webinar. Again, I was excited to do it. I have not done one with this topic before, so I was glad that I was able to accomplish that with you for Mental Health Awareness Month. Other than that, if you'd like to have a conversation about any of the brands that was displayed here tonight, or if you have any questions on the industry, etc., feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached at TAMIKA, TAMIKA, at precisionfranchise.com. Feel free to also go onto the website, as they'll have various resources. For example, if you are looking, maybe you're not sure about where you would fit, what's going to be the best fit for you. There is a questionnaire there where you can rate the level of interest. As you can see, there's different brands that's going to tap into the different passions that you may have, the things that you actually may like doing. And there's a lot of transferable skills when it comes to these industries. So that's a good way for me to be able to understand and to help you basically better match with the proven business model that's going to work for you. There's also other resources such as eCourse, where you can learn a little bit more about franchises. It's still a fuzzy area. You can learn about what it is about and how it is I will be able to help you as well. And is there anything else I'm forgetting? Just the partnerships is there as far as if there's if a loan is needed, you're able to speak to me about that. For businesses that need to set up their payroll, etc. We have all the resources for you to do that as well. Okay, so again, if there's no other questions, thank you. Stay tuned for the email, and you guys enjoy the rest of the week. Take care.